Welcome back everybody, Chris Bricks here, and as you can see, new shirt, new day, new build. But first, we need to have a one-on-one. You see, last week we did a little build, Nintendo Game Boy build, and looking at it, it is a complete flop. I think there was less views on that build than there are comments on my Stinger RS build, which is kind of insane. And you know, as a small channel, views come, they go, and I understand a lot of you are here for car builds because that's what my channel predominantly does, is car builds with the occasional spaceship or Concorde build or something like that. The Game Boy was really out of the wheelhouse, and it shows. But I have to say, whether you watch it in the link below that build or some other creator or watch a Lego clip on it, you should really take a look at this set, because in that thumbnail, I say that is Lego at its finest, and I stand by that. If I wasn't such a big Back to the Future fan with the DeLorean over there, that would have been my best Lego build ever. And I say that because it incorporates everything that makes Lego great, okay? You have the look. It looks just like a Game Boy. From this view, you could be looking at my legit Game Boy from a kid. Just posted up there. You wouldn't even know it's Lego sitting up there. And as a matter of fact, when family came to visit and they saw it, it took them a second to realize that's actually Legos. That's how good this build looks. Not only that, you have the buttons. They're not just stuck on there. They actually, move, they function, they react, they spring back on you, they give, they flex. They snap, they roll for the contrast, the volume. You even have a audio jack at the bottom, and even the little part where the wristlet that would attach to your Game Boy can tie through on this. Like, Lego literally hit it out of the park with that set. That is probably one of the best put together sets I've ever seen from Lego, because not only do they have all that, right? They do what Lego does best. They put the details on the inside that nobody will ever see. Each one of those game cartridges, which it comes with 2, and I know I just mumbled that word for some reason, don't know why, but the Zelda and the Super Mario Land cartridge, on the inside, they have like little circuitry pieces you'll never see. They don't even have to do it, but their color palette and their choice of pieces make it look like you're constructing an actual game cartridge from that era. And then you put it together. And when you put it in the back of the Game Boy, it snaps in just like the old Game Boy used to. And even when you're building the Game Boy itself, the color choices of the pieces really stand out and make it look like, oh, I put together a circuit board for this non-functional Game Boy. I'm telling you, Lego knocked it out of the park with that set. And I understand some of you could care less about a Game Boy Lego set, but that is truly Lego at its finest. And one more, I know I'm on my soapbox right now ranting, but I tell you what, 2 stickers. That's right, there could have been 30 stickers on this thing, because there are plenty of stickers on the original Game Boy, like A/B button, contrast, volume, power on, Game Boy. I could go on with all the stickers they could have made you put on it, but they don't. You put on 2 stickers, everything else is printed. It is an amazing set, and I love the thought that Lego put into it. All right, stepping down now. You guys probably fast forwarded or could care less. Didn't give a crap what I had to say about it, but that set truly is Lego at its finest. From all the sets that I've built to this point, now there may be better sets out there, I just haven't discovered them yet. That one truly encapsulates like everything that is a Lego and makes them so great. All right, so what are we here for today? Well, nobody saw last week's video, so here was the hint. And unless you've never seen any 80s movies or been under a rock, or maybe you're a Gen Z and don't like old movies, we are building a Back to the Future set. But I already have the big DeLorean, so what are we building? That's right. Finally got my hands on this thing. I saw it come out in November. I'm like, I gotta have it. Then I saw all these really cool creators that had early dibs on it, and I got jealous. And I watched them build a really cool set. And then came January, and I'm like, I'm gonna get this set. I go to lego.com, and we are sold out. Okay, well, I'll put my name on a wait list. Wait, the wait list is also on back order. I've never seen that where the back order is on back order. And they're like, just give us your email, which I imagine immediately went into the shredder bin because I never received an email that this ever came back in stock. So, how did I get my hands on it eventually? I'm sure a lot of you do now because I see it in stores actually pretty stocked nowadays, especially at Targets. So if you're looking or you're near a Target, check it out. And if you're still looking for this. But my wife, every time she went out, she looked for this set. Every time she went to a Target or any other store that carried Legos, and then she brought it home one day. And I completely walked past it. She left it on the table, didn't say a word to me. And finally I saw it, and I kind of made this face. Yeah, almost to a T on that one when I saw it. I was so excited about this because I am a huge, Back to the Future fan. Got the Pepsi Perfect, the USA Today, with Marty's kid being arrested because they didn't make it back into 2015. And of course the big DeLorean, which we'll do a side-by-side, kind of look at it. I know one of the other content creators that I follow also did that, but why not? Might as well compare it here as well. So what do we got? Well, this is 357 pieces, which is about 70 pieces less or so than the Game Boy. So, and that one actually was really quick to build, which is another thing I liked about the Game Boy one. So this one should be sub an hour, I imagine, depending on how many stickers there are. It's hard to tell or assume how many stickers are going to be in this set. I'm hoping a lot of this is just printed on, which would make it look that much better. Now, the great thing about this set is, as you can see, although it's backwards because of the camera, 2 for 1. So you get your choice. You got your regular one or Mr. Fusion. So naturally, Mr. Fusion, because that's what I did for my huge set. So we're doing it for this set as well. And of course, you got all the dates. You got Doc driving it. I cannot wait to get this built. I'm actually curious what the flux capacitor is going to look like in a set this small. I know it's really cool that it lights up in that one. Don't imagine it's going to in this one, but let's break open this box. All right, bag's open, and as typical with most speed champions, you got about 5 bags worth of parts or pieces, whatever you want to call them. And some of them range from a few pieces to a few more. Nothing too overcrowded. See bag 3? That's kind of a tiny bag anyway, so can't imagine a lot of these bags will take that long, which is always good. It gets you to the end point a little quicker. You feel like you accomplish a lot more in a lot less time, which is very nice. You have these two wirings that are going to run along the side of the car, which we learned from the big Back to the Future DeLorean set. You have the main area where the characters are going to sit and the car is going to be built off of on the chassis. And you have 6 stickers. I could already see we got the DMC for the front grille. We also have DeLorean for the rear bumper and a few other pieces. I'm not sure where they're going to go, but we'll find out. So 6 isn't horrible. 2 is better, but 6 ain't bad and definitely a lot better than 35. So, you win some, you lose some. This one I think's a win, considering how many stickers this set probably could have really had. And as I was already mentioned, we're going to build Back to the Future 2, where the car flies, Mr. Fusion. And I think because there's a 2 for 1 special with this set, it's 127 pages, which is a little longer than most of the Speed Champion books. And there's nothing really special about this book. It just kind of advertises their new ones, doesn't really give you any shots of the movie or anything special. So this book probably will be a toss after I get through building the set. And as I mentioned before, at the end of this build, we'll definitely compare it to the big one and just see kind of the features between the two. We also have one more test which I do with every single speed champion, especially since these ones aren't going to have helmets. They have to wear their hair and they have to fit in the car. So let's see if LEGO actually made a speed champion where the minifig can wear their hair and sit in the car correctly. We learned from the Ferrari that even from the LEGO glam shots on their website, the canopy, the windshield area didn't even sit straight on their perfect pictures that they had on their website. You could see it was slightly off compared to the rest of the car, so they couldn't even get the thing to fit on correctly. So we'll see how this one goes. That's usually my ultimate test for speed champions is, can the figure wear their hair and enjoy their day? So we'll open bag 1 and let's get to some building. Bag 1's done. 9 minutes, 13 seconds. And the main focus was the back of the car. Not much to it right now. A lot of setup pieces. Of course, you got a little keypad there. You got the stick shift. And you got the rear wheel arches in the beginning of like the circuitry or whatever you want to call it that runs along the side of the vehicle. Of course, we have Marty McFly, we have Emmett Brown, also known as Doc, and of course I had to pick the panic face because, he always seems like he's stressed out. He just doesn't enjoy time travel as much as I thought he would, considering that he steals plutonium from the Libyans and wants to build his own time machine and fly around in the future and stuff. He always seems very panicked, you know what I mean? So had to choose that face. Marty McFly, gave him his little confident face, kind of same look he has when he's riding behind that pickup truck on a skateboard. You got about 7 pieces left over, and really bag 1, not too much to it. We didn't use any of the stickers, so these 6 stickers are going to be spread out between bags 2 to 5, and we'll see how that goes. So let's open bag 2 and get to building. Bag 2 is done. Just over 8 minutes on this build. You get a pretty generous amount of pieces. So far, I think we must have like 14, 15 leftover pieces, which is pretty generous. They're all small pieces, yeah, but still pretty good for a set this small. So what did we do in this? Well, we constructed a little bit more of the technology in this car. We also flip it around. We got the backings of the seats, but we also have the flux capacitor. Now, it is just a snap-on window into the back, so that's pretty much all you get. I wasn't sure if there was going to be like a little, like C-clamp type one sitting there, and they'd have you put in maybe like a yellow Y-shaped item to sit right here. Instead, it's just printed on, which, not bad, it works. So, we got our flux capacitor in. We're building up the back end, all the power where Mr. Fusion's going to sit. I can't wait to get this together. So, bag 3 is next. Let's build. Bag 3 is done. 8 minutes 24 seconds, and we continue to put the back of the car together. As you can see, that's right, it's starting to come together now. I really like how the taillights look in this, and it's something as dumb as that. I think they did a good job with the taillights, DeLoreans especially have that blocky cube style taillights, very retro looking. I think considering how small this set is and they don't have a lot of real estate to actually create those taillights, I think they look really good. Now they're kind of covered up by the exhaust rear end. I don't know what you want to call those things. I actually don't know what the name of them are. I'll have to look up some kind of Back to the Future lore on those official exhaust vents or whatever they want to call them. But as you can see, they're built, they're on there. And honestly, this is looking pretty good considering how small this is, how little pieces there are. There's a lot of intricate detail that is going into the back of this, and I really appreciate that. As you can see, we got the rear bumper with the DeLorean sticker on it. We also did a couple other stickers right here and right here. So far, pretty straightforward. We're still working on this back end, and it's got some heft. Well, when you got 3 bags almost invested in just the rear end, it's got some junk in the trunk right there, you know what I mean? So it's looking awesome. I'm already excited for this. Can't wait to compare it to the big one. So let's move on to bag 4. Bag 4 is done, just under 9 minutes, and as you can see, we got the front of our DeLorean being built, and we also finished out the interior. You can see right here, we got the dates that they set for Marty to go into the past and return to the future, well, present time, at least in this one. We also have the monitor for how much plutonium power source he has, and that's pretty much it. You also put on the side doors here, so you have 2 giant stickers here. What I recommend with that is put this piece on first, then put your sticker, because it asks you to put the sticker on first and then attach it. And as you can see right here, you have 2 more lines that have to align with this giant sticker. So it's easier to put the piece on, match up the sticker to the lines, and it flows and looks a lot better. Assuming you don't put it on crooked, which I did on the one side. And I just took out my 2 minifigs. But as you can see, that one was slightly off, but what can you do? Now, something cool I didn't notice about the manual is the progress bar in this manual has Marty McFly walking through as it gets finished. Pretty nice little touch. But also, on step 88, a nice, Easter egg call out to hitting 88 miles an hour and the DeLorean traveling into the future with all of its electrical sparks and everything, which really cool little touch. Didn't have to do, but they threw that in there. I love when LEGO does Easter eggs like that, so pretty awesome. We got 1 bag left, bag 5, and that's going to connect the wiring, wheels, and everything else, and then this set will be done. So let's get on to bag 5 and finish this Back to the Future DeLorean Speed Champion. The long-awaited Back to the Future Speed Champion is now complete. Bag 15 took about 15 minutes, 7 seconds, and that will really depend on which route you did. I said I was going to do the second one, so I have Mr. Fusion. I also have the tires that are folded in, and unfortunately, they are not something that fold back. It's one of those decisions that you make of, this is going to be permanent, or do you want the other one with regular wheels on it? So you kind of make that choice. Overall time, you're looking at 49 minutes, 47 seconds. So this is a pretty quick Speed Champion build. And first thoughts, right? There's a couple design elements I'm not thrilled with now that I have it built. So we'll get that part out of the way first, all right? As I knock over Mr. Fusion and cause a nuclear meltdown. So, front of the car looks good. This little angle here, where you can see it right there. It almost looks like it doesn't fit. Like the front end's not meant to be there. And I don't know why they couldn't have done something else or made it flow a little better. It's just very obvious that this almost doesn't seem thought of. Like you have the hood sloped down so much, but then it doesn't meet with the headlight assembly or the cover and everything. So that does bug me. I mean, that's a very minute thing, but I still notice it when I put it together. I'm like, did I put it together wrong or something? Why is this not matching up nicely? Because Lego's usually good about fenders matching up nicely, and it does not do it here. Another thing is the rear with these like electronic panels that are going around and everything. They look good, but you could see where, if you get it to a line up here, then here it's a little janky looking. And it doesn't sit flush. Like you could see where it's kind of sticking out right there. It sticks out from the rest. I don't know how they would accomplish this kind of design and have it completely smooth and everything. But it's just one of those things that you definitely notice. If you make it smooth on one side, it's completely open on the other side. So you really have to decide where do you want this to kind of sit flush. Do you want it to be flush on the fender, but then you have the gap up top, or do you want it to be more flush with the top of it, and then you'll have this weird jagged piece sticking out. So those are really my only two complaints design-wise with this. So, good stuff. As you can see, the canopy is down. Both minifigs have their hair. This is a 100% pass rate when it comes to minifigs having their beautiful hair and not having a concussion because the windshield is smashed on their head. They have plenty of headroom in this. So if they can accomplish this in a early 80s DeLorean, I don't see why they can't do it in a Bugatti, a Koenigsegg, Ferrari, etc., etc. We know you can do it, Lego. Keep on doing it. Your minifigs will love you for it. For how compact this car is, I have to say, I love all the details. I mean, look how intricate that back is. With the Mr. Fusion, getting those rear vents out, getting the design right on the tail lights. I mean, overall, it is a good-looking Speed Champion, and considering it's so small, they managed to capture so much detail in this. So, very awesome. And of course, we got the orange plate on the back with the barcode. I actually have this plate as well. It's sitting in my garage. I couldn't quite get it to fit with the rest of my Back to the Future memorabilia type stuff, but I do have it as well. And of course, if you chose the other DeLorean, you have the out of time plate. And speaking of which, of course, bag 5, you have a ton of leftover pieces, and that's because it depends what route you went. That will determine what pieces you have left over. Now this fishing pole, if you know the old school sets, is going to be used if you have the other one where it's sticking out and it has to catch the 1.21 gigawatts to get back into the future or present, depending how you're looking at it. This actually is a good tool because it has you assemble these wheels onto these little like 1x4s with a hook on it. And when you have the wheels on it, it does not want to connect down in this wheel well. You have 2 points of connection at each end, or one at each end, 2 total connection points. And with this wheel on, it does not snap in nicely. If you look at the time lapse, I actually took the wheels back off, just put the piece in there, and then I used the bottom of this to slot in and push down on each side till it connected in, and then I reattached the wheel. Made it 100 times easier and actually secured it in a lot better than trying to push it in with the wheel attached. So that's a good tip for you if you're having a little bit of trouble with that, because it was a pain, to be honest with you. While I'm disappointed that these wheels they don't have it on some kind of piece that kind of moves, I thought that's maybe how they would do it. It wasn't permanent. That'd have been awesome, but it does look cool. It looks like, Back to the Future too, basically, You're flying around on that interstate in the sky, going to, where you need to go. But this is definitely one of those sets, if you go the second route, you're probably going to need to buy one of those nice stands that they have that makes it look like it's flying around the corner. I may look into that as well. But you do have a lot of leftover pieces, as you can see. This is quite a few pieces. It doesn't look like much, but there's a decent amount in there for how small of a kit this is, and there's a bunch more because of the car we chose not to build. So, we have this one, and then we have the big one. Overall, it's neat how they almost like took this, put it in a machine to minimize into this. I think they did a good job, honestly, capturing a lot of things that were built into this one as I'm trying to get the wheels to flatten out here. As you can see, you know, got that nice little look to it. Got the wheels and everything. Back comparison, they did a good job. Yeah. Trying not to break pieces on the big one here. But as you can see, they did a good job going from this giant set with many, many more pieces and put it into a smaller piece. I think they did a really good job of that, because look at that. That's a pretty good matchup. And actually, I just noticed that it doesn't have the DeLorean on the bumper of this one. I hope I didn't miss that sticker, but oh well. But we got the plates, we got the Mr. Fusion. Of course, this one operates. It has the beer can banana peel sitting inside. I can only assume it has the same for this to power it. We look at the front. And of course, very similar. I mean, they did a pretty good job shrinking this down into something like a speed champion. And you even have top here, top there, you know? One for one there. Looks pretty good. And I also like that on this set, something I noticed about it, they have this little piece right here, right? So this one is actually used on the big one. Right there. So your Speed Champion matches the same kind of setup as this one, where this one has like these little red canisters. On the Speed Champion, they put like a little red piece to represent what the bigger one had. So overall, I think they did a great job taking this into a Speed Champion. I think they did a really good job with it. Overall, it was a really great build. Had a good time with it. Can't wait to add this over there. Gonna probably have to get the stand to make it look like it's kind of flying beside this one. And let's get it back to normal. There we go. And if this is not something you have in your collection, definitely recommend it. It's a pretty awesome build, and of course, the minifigs fit. That's always a plus. So, next week, we're going to have this for our next build. And hopefully from that hint, you'll be able to guess it. If you're in my millennial group, you know exactly what that's from, because, you know, being a car person, that was a movie you had to go to. I remember going to the movies when this came out, and the car scene was absolutely amazing at the theater. It was awesome. I couldn't afford to be a part of that car scene, but I was still there. It was amazing. And I am looking forward to that build because it's been sitting in my backlog for a little bit. I got it as a gift from my wife, and I can't wait to get it together. So, if you followed the video this long, drop a like, throw a comment in there. I love hearing from you guys when you drop a comment, asking questions. I try to answer them within a day or so. And I think we're up to like 54 subs at this point. That's absolutely amazing. Every week we seem to at least gain 1 or 2, which is completely awesome for this channel. We're also at like over 550 on Instagram as well. Who would have thought, right? Just building some Lego sets for fun in the part-time, sharing it with you guys, and you start getting a following, and it's pretty awesome. Pretty amazing feeling, to be honest with you. If you're just on Instagram and you're just casually catching this, hit me up. Go ahead, follow. Show me some of your builds. I'll repost them. I love seeing what people can do, especially when they take some of these sets and, you know, customize them. They can make some really awesome things. But anyways, I hope you guys have a good week and keep building.